So Kyle, as a lawyer, we get to read about, hear about, see all kinds of negative things said about lawyers, lawyer jokes, news stories that are problematic about lawyers and all of that. I know in your world, there are also misconceptions, things you have to deal with. What are some of those misconceptions you deal with, and how is it that you handle them and confront them?
Sure. Yeah, I think one of the biggest challenges in this industry is you're kind of behind the eight ball from the get-go before you actually step into a law firm, because most law firms look at funding just as a whole, as a predatory thing. That's just that's been my experience up to this point. You start saying the word funding and people immediately go to, well, you're going to charge my client, 90% interest a year, and it's going to be compounded, and you're going to take half the settlement, and it's going to turn the case upside down. I really don't want any part of this. And so really you have to level set in that first interaction. Hey, that's not the company we are, and that's not what we provide. And when you start to hear some of the normal concerns that a law firm might have, probably the most common one I have outside of, hey, you're a predatory lender, is, well, I know all about, factoring companies. If you're involved, the bills are going to be higher because, you're involved. And I will tell you, it is unequivocally false. Any medical providers that we have worked with, the first question out the gate that I ask them is, if I have a patient who has Blue Cross or Aetna or anything, what you're going to charge them is the same that they would be charged if they utilize my service. There's not going to be two different bills or higher bills or anything like that, because medical providers need to have the same charge master across the board. And so if the answer to that is ever no, which I haven't seen it, I would walk from that moment, because inevitably I'm going to have a problem with that on the litigation side of this. When somebody says, a savvy defense attorney goes, hey, this same surgery would have been 100,000 here, and now it's 200,000 because HMR is involved. We don't operate like that. It is a common misconception that, the bills are going to be higher. I think a lot of people think that we bill, like we're a billing company on the cases we're involved in, that somehow the bills that the medical providers give to us, then we turn around and bill them ourselves. Again, it's just not the case. The bills that we provide the law firms are directly from the medical providers themselves. Those are their charges. We've simply purchased that bill and we're passing it on to the law firm.
Yeah, one of the things that I've enjoyed is I've seen you at a number of these conferences and meetings around the country, and I have watched you handle some of the more difficult questions coming from some lawyers, and you've always been direct in your response, and you say, no, sir, that is not how it happens. Here's how it happens, and you explain it. And that's terrific. That speaks highly of you. That speaks highly of HMR. And it's been good to see that.